Hey YouTube, what's going on? Guess who's back? I know, I know. It's been a long time, and I could have talked about a lot of stuff, but the things that I wanted to talk about at that time, I had stuff to do in school. Last week was midterm, and then the weeks before that, I had to catch up on my work. So, the stuff I really want to talk about, like Bow Down with Beyonce, that happened this week, I know. But, it's spring break, so I was catching up on my sleeping, as well as Love and Hip Hop. I forgot to talk about that. I just missed out on talking about a lot of things, so please forgive me. Sorry. But on to something that I really do want to talk about. Braxton Family Values came back on, and I'm so happy. But once again, they kind of start off with Tamar versus the Three MuskeTeers, aka Towanda. Sorry if this is shaking. Towanda, Trina, and Tracy. So the three T's. That's what I say. They're the three T's. Because Toni really don't got an issue with Tamar, and besides that, Toni and Tamar live in Cali next to each other, so they can easily talk and hash out their problems. But when it comes to the three T's, they live on the other side. Tamar's not really at Atlanta, especially not now since she's promoting her new single, Love and War, which you need to promote this album. I mean, you already pregnant. But anyway, I'm talking about the second episode where I really want to get into, because the first episode, it wasn't giving me enough information to choose who should I go for. Should I be on Team Tamar or should I be on Team 3Ts? I have to go with the Team 3Ts on this one. Sorry all Tamartians, Tamar fans, but Tamar is the baby. I'm not the baby in the family, so I know how it feels for I just know the situation kind of because I'm not the youngest child. So I kind of see the situation, this whole I'm mad at you situation go on my family. So I am taking up for Towanda because I think Tawanda's the middle child, right? Yeah. Yeah, she is the middle child. So, and I'm the middle child too. So I'm not trying to be like because we're the middle child, we got sticks together. No, it's nothing like that. I just see her point more than everybody else see Tamar's point. So let's get into the second episode. They start off with they're in Canada to help support Toni. All these T's will get me tongue tied. To help Toni on her to support Toni on her Lifetime movie that's coming out. I don't know what it's even called. I really don't. But I'm happy for Toni that she's doing something. And what happened? That was like the highlight. They said the place thing. The next day, Toni's filming. Then, what else happened? Toni's filming, so they decided to go on tour in Canada. Canada, they went to the boring part of Canada. I feel sorry for whoever's Canadian and had to see the boring part of Canada. Because I'm sure Canada's just as fun as the US. I really am sure. That's why I'm like, why can't they just go to Vancouver? Go to the beach. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all at the boring part of Canada. You're not at the you're at the woods, basically. You're in the woods. Ain't nothing to tour about the woods. Here's the oak tree. Here's the other tree. There's that tree. Fertile tree. Oops, I caught that, Tamar. You did get pregnant after you touched that tree, didn't you? But nevertheless, it was just a bunch of trees and a big long bridge. Well, two long bridges, two high bridges that Tamar was afraid of, so she decided to back down. But here's what the situation that I really want to talk about. At the dinner, I believe it was Tamar who invited them to dinner because, she didn't participate in the whole tour like, she kind of could have sticked it out because the bridge, I understand, you're afraid of heights. But, yeah, she did the best she could, but she just did too much. She just was a drama queen about it. She didn't have to do all that, but she did. Anyway, so she invited them out for drinks, and when they got there, Towanda went to use the bathroom first. So when she used the bathroom and she came out of it, she saw Vince in her peripheral. She was like, Vince is here? No, 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 ma'am. I'm not having this conversation with you while Vince is here. Y'all two are Velcro. Y'all two are always together. I'm tired of this, you and Vince always being together. You asked us to come. You should know exactly what this conversation is going to be about, and it does not involve your husband. I'm going, bye. Tamar was like, what? What's the problem? Okay, I'll tell him to sit at the bar, and then you guys can go when we can talk about it here. I'm gonna talk to you about my problem about that in a minute. So that's all we got from right there until Tamar and her mom Evelyn start talking about it after they came from Canada. But from now, I'm just talking in sequence. So let me just tell you that was the story that Towanda gave us at when they were picking the blueberries. So moving on, they had a family dinner about it. Trina drank once again, left wine or a wine cup inside the car. Trina, God, you can't even do that in the U.S. What do you, are you serious? But anyway, I'm glad the guy didn't go to jail. So they had a dinner and they talked about it. Of course, Evelyn is upset because all she wants is her family to be in peace. And she's like, okay, I'm going to have to start really talking about this because y'all, once again, do this and I don't like it when my kids are fighting. So she says she's going to talk about it to Tamar when she gets home. Other than that, they had the dinner discussion. It's beautiful. Now let's get into the whole story about it. So I was talking in sequence, as in that's how they gave us the story throughout the whole episode. So this is Tamar's side. I said Tawanda's side. This is Tamar's side. Tamar invited them out for drinks. Once Towanda went to the bathroom and came back, Towanda was mad at Tamar and said, "Why is Vince here? I'm not going to do this with you. I'm leaving." And I'm talking in parallel speaking terms. That's how I'm talking. So I'm not really doing word for word what she's talking about. So she told her mom that they're sitting at the table. By the way, Tamar and Evelyn sitting at the table, and Tamar's telling her side of the story after they get from Canada. So that's what she said. Not Tamar, Towanda. These teas are getting me tongue-tied. Towanda walked out first. Trina went after her, as well as Tracy, and they never came back. And Tamar was upset. Now I do kind of admit that part. They could have kind of worked it out, did something. But at the same time, you all know how it is when you're arguing at a table. Everybody in that whole entire restaurant can hear what you're talking about, because when they argue, everybody can hear that. It's not just that one section of the table. You two can argue and nobody else can hear that. I'm sure her husband is going to be scooping and listening in on this conversation and seeing what's going on. She don't want that. I'm sure Towanda doesn't want that. I'm sure Towanda doesn't even want to see her husband. First of all, her husband shouldn't even be there. And for Tamar to say, my husband always come with me to trips, wrong, Tamar. Throughout the 3 seasons, you've been on plenty of sister trips without your husband. Can we name couple? I can name one, as in the trip where you guys went back to Maryland to see where you guys grew up, the home that you guys grew up in, the church that your father first opened and I guess proposed to his ex-wife, which is Evelyn. You know what I'm saying? There's been plenty of trips where you didn't invite Vince. Now all of a sudden you can't go nowhere without Vince. No, that's wrong. That's really wrong. You guys are just on good terms. That's why you want to be around each other all the time. And one other reason is because I really do in my heart believe that Vince is whispering a bunch of, yes, ma'am, and yes, insights into her ear. I mean, I believe Tamar kind of goes with the team, as in Tamar, she may be in one man army because she's always against the three T's, but at the same time, don't you believe that her husband's always gonna take up for her and be on her side? I do. Why you think her husband's not really around the sisters? Not saying that he should be alone with the sisters, but just think about it. Besides Toni, remember the first season? Besides Toni, that he's been alone talking to about his wife, he hasn't really been around the three sisters. So to me, I really believe he's not really cool with the three sisters like that. That's what I believe. Maybe he's not cool with them like that. And so he's always on Tamar's side, taking up for Tamar. That's what I believe. So that's what this conversation was about. So let's really dig deep and to really figure out what is the problem between Tamar and the three T's, because they wasn't telling us the issue last episode. They only gave us a hint. The very first clip was when they were promoting the show, and somebody asked Towanda a question. Why weren't you on the show? Why weren't you on Tamar and Vince's show? She said, well, this show should be about Tamar and Vince. I don't believe I should be on the show because then it's just going to be Braxton Family Values once again. And I would really want you guys to get the full scoop of what is it like a day in the life of Tamar and Vince. Don't you agree? Tamar think of that as throwing shade, which I don't think that was right at all. And I think that was like the final straw. I still don't even think that was the first straw or the first strike against the whole Towanda and Tamar situation. But I think the other straw came from what we saw last episode. It was a small clip from last half season. I think that was the half, 2.5 season, when Towanda was talking about how everything you do, Tamar fails, and Towanda was walking out. Tamar was walking out and saying she don't need this and F this. So you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So just to get those two clips alone, I do have to be on Tawanda's side. When Tamar is mad, she probably doesn't remember what she says. That's kind of most people sometimes. When they get angry, they get upset, they start saying a bunch of hurtful things. And Tamar, since she's the baby, she believes everything she does is kind of right. And whatever they do is not right. At the end of the day, there are the older ones, so they need to be the blame. That's why I'm looking into it. I'm looking into it like she doesn't really remember her saying F the Braxtons, which we're going to find out next episode. She did really say that because Toni wouldn't be lying for no reason. So that's I think that's going into deeper of what's going on. Tamar don't want to work with them no more because she's probably tired of being in an argument with them. And the second reason we've learned from this episode is that there's been rumors to them at the time that Tamar was going to do her own show with Vince. They wanted to know what's going on. Tamar wasn't saying anything. She was keeping her mouth closed. She said she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't want to do another show. She doesn't want to do another reality show. So later they found out, like, I guess, I don't know if it's years later, I don't know if it's months later, because they're not giving us the full story yet. But later they found out that like the day before she accepted it, or she already accepted it, she said she's gonna do a show. She didn't tell her sisters what was going on at all. So I guess the sisters took that to heart. Like, how can you lie to us? You told us you weren't gonna do a show. Now you're doing a show. She said it wasn't up to her. Vince did it. I don't know. To me, it takes two to tango. It takes two to sign on that dotted line that you're gonna do a show. I don't know about you, but I think somewhere in the mix she was lying and she didn't want to tell her sisters because she probably didn't want to give them those type of news and make them feel bad. I think Tamar believes her sisters is jealous of them. I don't think her sisters are jealous. I mean, look at Toni. Look at Toni's situation. Remember Toni, before the Braxton Family Values even came on, Toni said she always felt guilty of her success because of her sisters. But at least she told her sisters what's going on. Remember, if you guys ever watched on VH1, I believe is Behind the Music. Just check it out on VH1.com. Then you'll get to see the whole entire thing. Or it's probably on YouTube or something like that. If you guys remember, when Toni first talked about how L.A. Reid wanted her, but you have to drop your sisters. She said that was the hardest thing to do. She didn't want to do it. But her sisters, she talked to her sisters, she talked to her mother. They all had her back. Even though they felt, some type of way probably, they all still had her back. Tamar did it a different type of way. She did it behind their back. She did it in a sneaky way to get her show. And didn't want to tell her sisters because she think her sisters was going to get jealous. No, I don't think it was it at all. I think if she just went full force and just told them about it, I think they would have been okay about it. But I think because she didn't tell them, they weren't okay and they didn't want to be on the show. Maybe jealousy, maybe, but I really don't think it's jealousy. I really think that family is very solid on supporting each other about what's going on. I mean, look at Trina. Trina was really the only person that was doing their solo music before Tamar came out with her song Love and War. And everybody supported Trina. They didn't support that she was in a group. They support that she finally went solo. And I feel bad for her that her music is not as hot as Tamar, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I hope they get their lives together, which they probably did by now, but I don't know. Who knows what happened next episode? Because I know next episode is gonna be really good. So I love how the season start out. Once again, I'm on the 3T side. Sorry if this video is shaky once again. It is slanted and shaky at the same time. And it's not even bright. Well, now it's bright. I did the best I could on this video, you guys. But I really am on the 3T side because Tamar, she should have told her sisters what's going on with the show. I don't know if she's not supposed to tell them what's going on, keep it under wraps, but that's your sisters. You always say that your sisters are over here and you're over here. But don't you see the pattern? Don't you see why you're always over here? Because you don't tell your sisters what's going on. You don't. The only person you tell what's going on to is Toni. Look at it from outside looking in. Look at it that way. Look at it from the first season when her and Vince always get in an argument. Who's always not her sisters. Her, Tamar, she me her, and Towanda, not Towanda, and her husband always getting in trouble. Toni's always the one to fix it. Not because she's signed to Vince. It's because I guess she's the only one that she comes to. She's closer to them. In all the other ways, I don't really see how she's close to her sisters. Another thing that I want to point out. Whoa, we all remember what happened last season when Trina was getting married all of a sudden. Who supported Trina? It wasn't Tamar. Tamar, at that moment, that's supposed to be the best moment of Trina's life. At that moment. I don't know what happened afterwards, because next episode we're going to find out that ring is fake, which that's not going to be the best moment as you may have thought it was. But you didn't support your sister. You're bringing your points down. You keep saying that you're not close to your sisters, but you're the one who's causing it. It's nobody else. I'm sure they're happy to hang out with you. They're happy to be peace, and they love you and they support you. But at the same time, you're not supporting them, whatever they do. You're always arguing about their husbands and what their husbands are not doing, but they want to work it out with their husbands. No matter how much of a freeloader they are, no matter how much of a stalker they are watching on their lives, Gabe, no matter what they do, what their husbands do wrong, you never support any of them. You just act like your life was the best. And you still do. More than your sisters. And I don't respect that. I don't respect how you believe that your husband and your 3-year marriage is so much better than everybody else's marriages. As in all your other sisters. And that's what you also come off across as. And let's not forget the main detail. Let's not forget the Love and War song. Tamar came out with a song. I don't even know if she told her sister she was coming out with her own solo thing. You know what I'm saying? Because there was animosity towards that. Tamar, from first season, she didn't want to be a doo-wop-wop chick. She didn't want to be a background singer for Toni Braxton anymore. She wanted to be her own person. Congratulations, Tamar. You are officially your own person. She, me, her is you. Nobody has to say Toni Braxton's sister anymore. Some people may say it, but most people, most of your fans, they know who you are. Most people know who you are now. So congratulations. But I don't think you told your sisters that you was going to come out with your own stuff. And I think when she did say that, like the second and the 2.5 season, I think when she did say that she was going to come out with her own stuff, not everybody felt happy. I think Tracy was the one who felt upset because she really wanted to do a Braxton Family album. And Tamar went from, I want to do a group album, it's all Toni's fault, to I want to do my own thing. Toni's not obviously not going to try to work with us anymore, so let me do my own thing. And that's it. All three of those things add up. Let's just count off again. Tamar coming out with her own show, not telling her sisters. Tamar coming out with her own song, not telling her sisters. And Tamar never supports anything that the sisters do. When it comes to Tracy doing her own, opening up her own salon, Tamar don't support that. When it comes to Trina going back with Gabe, Tamar don't support that. What else? When it comes to Towanda and her relationship with her freeloading man, Tamar don't support that. Tamar, you know the relationships are wrong. We know the relationships are wrong. But they're always supporting you. You're never supporting anything they do or anything they get into. You never support them getting back together. You just believe they should just divorce, ditch their man, and find new men. I honestly believe so too. But if they want to work it out, let them work it out. Be happy for them, but you're never happy for them. You're like, my life is just better than them. You can't do that. You can't do. You have to support your sisters, and I think that is the reason why the 3 T's, do it with me now, 3 T's are so close, and you're not. You need to stop with this she, me, her. You need to stop with trying to be, not trying to be, just thinking that you are better than your sisters. Yes, you are richer than your sisters because of your husband. Yes, you don't really, your husband never cheated on you. And your husband's not a freeloader. So that's all the things that you have that I guess believes that your relationship is better even though you guys argued all the time. I don't know. That's my 3 points, you guys. I don't know which side you're on, but comment below if you're on Tamar's side and think that I shouldn't be on Tamar's side. I should be on Tamar's side because I'm not. I'm on the 3T side. So this video may be long, but I gave you the best I've got. And I'm so happy that I have new subscribers. Thank you so much, subscribers, for not subscribers, YouTubers, for subscribing to my channel. I have 64 followers now. It's been a year since I came out with my own channel, and I got 64, so I'll take that. I really can, because you know I give my reviews like once a month sometimes, so I don't like do 3 videos a week like I should. But you know, school and everything. Listen, once the summer starts, I'll get back to doing my videos and whatever. I really would. If I don't, because I could be wrong, I'm not gonna make any promises, then it is really because I probably have a job and I work myself to the bone and I go home and sleep. But thank you guys for watching. Have a blessed day. And anything that you want me to talk about, just comment below. Like, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, CookieBaby23. This is Cookies for today, and I'm signing off.